Hi, and welcome to the 10 square meter workshop. Today I'm going to be doing another tracksaw modification, one you probably haven't seen before. So let's get started. A common aftermarket fitment to tracksaws is a cover to fit over this hole to help with the extraction. I've made one myself. It was the subject of a previous video. And yes, I'm sure it helps, but when you look at the other side of the tracksaw, you'll see there's a gaping hole where the saw moves when it plunges down. Kind of makes the one on the other side look small. Can we do something about this? Most of that space is only used for the deepest possible cuts, 55mm in my saw's case. The vast majority of the time I'm only cutting sheet goods, so I only need a depth of cut of say 20mm to cut 18mm sheet. I use a bigger size very rarely. This permits us to take up some of that space. Here's my test piece made out of thin MDF. Now looking at it you may think, well, there's still a big gap. Well yes, but let us put a 6mm depth of cut, suitable for say 4mm material. And then you see, not a lot of gap at all. Set for 20 and the MDF moves down and keeps the seal. Just need something to return it now. Having now got a working template, I cut out the parts from aluminium using the template as a guide. Don't let this put you off. Aluminium's fairly easy to work. File to fit. Here's the first piece in position. The moving plate was also cut to match the template in the same way. 3mm bolts were used as guides. These go through the slots on the moving plate. As you can see, I've also formed ears on the ends with holes to take springs. Washers and lock nuts complete the assembly. So here it is in position. At the 6mm gap, no gap, and down to 20, still no gap, and it follows back up again. Again in close-up, 6mm, 20mm. Does the job. Before going any further, I want to check that it works. I'll do this by doing some plunge cuts on a piece of scrap ply. I'll go 12mm deep, and the whole thing is on black cloth, as you can see. First I'll do it with the dust control in place. Some dust, mostly out of the side. I then tipped the rail and the piece of wood to one side, and this is the amount I got off it. Swept up, this is the amount compared to a 20p piece. It's mostly larger fibres. Cleaned up, time to repeat without dust control. Seems like more, but not a lot more. Well, it looks like more dust. 2 to 3 times as much, perhaps? Of perhaps greater importance is the fine dust. So I shall run the test again, this time using MDF and a particle meter. This is a sort of experiment that's very difficult to do on camera. I ended up doing many passes, measuring the particles both close and further away in the shop. The conclusion I came to was that yes, it does make a noticeable difference, but very difficult to quantify. The peak amount of particles was lower and therefore dissipated quicker. For me, this is sufficient proof that it's working, and I will continue with the project. There's a lot of ways I could have fixed it to the frame, but I went for the simple route. A 4mm hole drilled and tapped in the frame, an extended 4mm bolt, and the whole thing can be mounted in a few seconds. So, a significant dust reduction. I doubt if I'll have to remove it more than once a year. So there we have it. A new modification to the track saw that has beneficial results. That's all for this time. Why not catch me next time? Bye for now.